What is going on? Welcome back to Fanatic Journey. So today we're going to talk to you about Lucid. I want to go over some expectations for this upcoming week, what might cause some volatility, and go over everything else that you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off for this upcoming week, you can kind of summarize it as Fed speakers, Independence Day, and then consumer data. That's pretty much it. So starting off, you do have Powell on Tuesday. Wednesday is an early close at 1 o'clock, obviously in lieu of Independence Day. And then you do have Thursday off due to Independence Day. So happy 4th of July, everyone, all the Americans out there. But prior to that day, you do have the FOMC meeting minutes coming out. So that's going to be a kind of an interesting thing because it does come out exactly at market close. So yeah, last time the FOMC meeting minutes came out, the market tanked because it kind of showed a very massive divide and oddly had, I think it was like a 20% chance, or at least people discussing and wanting a rate hike. So definitely that will cause a hell of a lot of volatility. And even aside from that, you do have ADP non-farm employment, which is consumer linked. So again, that is coming out on Wednesday. And then on Friday, you have non-farm payroll. And like I said, a lot of Fed speakers throughout the whole week. And you can kind of see some of their main topics that they're going to be talking on right here. But everything that is going to be coming out this week no doubtably is going to be related to and converted to interest rate cuts. Is there going to be a interest rate cut for September? That's what the market is going to really convert everything to. So as of right now, 57.9% of a likelihood of a 25 basis point cut, and then a 6.2 for a 50 basis point cut. So yeah, this definitely will move quite significantly, in my opinion, probably move to the high 60s, or if not, depending on what comes out, possibly to the low 50s. So it's going to be a crazy week because a lot of things are going to be moving the market because it's going to be a lot of hot topics. Specific to Lucid though, the only thing that they will be doing is this. So the Gravity at Houston studio. So Gravity is still being showcased around. And speaking of Gravity, Lucid did drop a very positive bomb after hours on Friday, and that was this. So Lucid Group Inc. and Gravity Inc. reached agreement regarding trademark dispute. So I've already done a full dedicated video all about this. Mostly positive. I think the only negative I would have anything to say about this is just the fact that if someone didn't really pay attention to social media, only to PRs, then they would not know that this is something. So I think it's just Lucid's not really transparent despite them kind of saying so on their previous earnings many times. And so yeah, I think overall this is very good news, and you did see a nice bump up in the price as soon as this did come out. And so yeah, I think in reality, a lot of institutions are waiting on the sideline for the next big catalyst to be confirmed. And in my opinion, this might be just speculation, but one of the main reasons why the Gravity reservations were kind of being portrayed as right before production starts, which was very abnormal for Lucid, it was because of this. So the fact that they are now able to use the name Gravity, I think they can go full force on their marketing, full force on kind of unveiling the Gravity without any fear of changing the name afterwards, because that would make Lucid look very bad if they opened up reservations for the Gravity to later change the name. So this is actually very good news, and potentially, like I said, could open up reservations. I don't anticipate it to be obviously this week or probably anytime soon, but most likely I'd say earliest now is August. So yeah, I think that's a definitely very positive thing. And maybe this is once again just more speculation, but I think a lot of people have actually acknowledged that Peter's doing a lot more. So he's participating in podcasts and many other things. So maybe this right here was kind of known information for the last 2 weeks. And this is why Peter's been kind of putting himself out there. So hopefully he does continue that good momentum, because I think a lot of investors truly do appreciate him kind of doing these events rather than him kind of getting forced to do earnings. Like, he kind of is speaking a little bit more freely, if that makes sense. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. So hopefully you should see a little bit more buying coming from institutions as they kind of anticipate the Gravity reservation sooner rather than later. But when it comes down to this upcoming week though, you do have shorts kind of just stuck in limbo. So they haven't really been doing all that much. You can kind of see that right here. So they've just been hovering around that 28% range, currently sitting at 28.84% of the free float being shorted. Utilization is 96.55, short score 95.52. Friday shorts returned a small amount, so around 195,000, and 255.41 million shares overall are being shorted. So when it comes down to this week, especially, so many different things could translate to interest rates being cut, or maybe just negative viewpoints on that. Shorts are going to probably pounce on all of that. So we'll just have to wait and see what they do ultimately. But when it comes down to Lucid for this week, so it did, and it was able to close above $2.50. So that does mean that the 8,000 in open interest is in the money. So market makers will have to go to the secondary markets or just on Monday pre-market or during the trading day and buy roughly $800,000. So in the past, when this kind of scenario has happened very favorably for Lucid, you have seen a nice bump up in the stock price. So you might have that happen straight away, and possibly if you piggyback that with institutions buying this news right here, then you could see a nice push higher. So once again, we'll just have to wait and see. But as of right now, looking at some support and resistance points, with it at $2.61, it is trading between this S1 and the pivot. So over this last little bit, it's been for the most part trading within this range. It just hasn't had enough to really even touch this pivot. So $2.89. So possibly with that circumstance, or maybe Powell or one of the other data points could really give it a nice push higher, and the broader market as well, to this pivot point. $2.56 is that next strong support, and so far has been really holding up. So we'll just have to wait and see and watch for that S1 to hold. And right now, looking at the Elliott Wave technicals through IBKR, I know a lot of people do really like this. It does have $2.75 as a strong pivot. So in this case, you'll want to watch for 275 to be that pivot as well. And for as long as Lucid is above that, then it is anticipated to get between that 297 and 311. On the flip side, if it is below this, then yeah, it could hit that kind of low twos or high ones. So we'll just have to wait and see ultimately. And so I think this week is going to be a very, very big deciding week on the actual chart itself. So it's been really wanting to transition into the higher percentile of the Bollinger Band, as well as testing that 50-day moving average. So once again, anticipate that to happen first thing. On stochastic, you do see a nice bullish deviation, so white line above the red as well. It is at 43, so it's kind of moving out of the oversold territory, if that kind of makes sense. But I think that there was just a lot of buying that was happening this week, as a lot of institutions did rebalance their portfolios. You can kind of even just see some of the transactions that did occur after hours on Friday. There was quite a lot of big ones: 1.35 million, 2.03, 2.61, quite a lot, as you can kind of even, and plus even 20.3. So institutions this week were very, very active. But don't anticipate that to really happen like to this magnitude going into next week. So just something to kind of keep in mind. But number of retail investors have been getting into Lucid ever since it looks like the 25th. So have you been that individual buying Lucid, or have you been selling? What have you been doing with Lucid? And where do you see things going? Do you think it's going to be touching that $3 range this week, or do you think it's going to kind of pull down to that $2.50? In my opinion, because of everything that is coming out, I think $2.50 is going to be touched, but once again, it is going to bounce off of that and settle around that Elliott Wave technical pivot point of 275. I don't think there's enough in the market right now for it to kind of settle around this pivot point, but I think generally Lucid has been building a lot of good support levels, and it is inching higher. It's not the most sexiest stock. It doesn't go up like 20% in one day, but I think it's moving in the right direction, and it's been doing that the last week and a half, possibly even 2 weeks. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Hopefully everyone has an amazing weekend thus far. Happy Canada Day to all the Canadians out there on the 1st. And then of course, To all the Americans, happy Independence Day, since this video is more so covering this whole week. So, and one final thing I just wanted to share with you, take advantage of this promo. Simply sign up for a new account, throw $100 at it, and they give you 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. So you might as well get some free stocks for $100. It's a pretty good return on investment. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.